everyone, this is Sierra Ivory making my first Let's Play, and my first Let's Play is going to be, wait for it, wait for it, wait for it, Pokemon Fire Red version, released by Game Freak in copyright 2004. Let's start this thing now. We're going to go with the new game. We don't really need to know all of this because, let's face it, if you're a Pokemon fan, you've played this before. You know what's going on. Now, here's Professor Oak. Let's get through this as quickly as possible because this takes forever. Because apparently he thinks we don't know anything about this game. Yeah, the remakes kind of hold your hand. And I'm going to go with the boy character because, let's face it, he is iconic. I'm going to call him, of course, Red. Right, my name is Red. And of course we're going to go with Green as the name of our rival, just to keep it consistent. Now let's go on our adventure. I'm going to try to keep my team a little unique. I'm also going to try and avoid spoilers. I said try. Now normally, my team would be, my team would follow normally what you would see on Smogon, or what you might see other people doing, because, let's face it, that's easier. Why do I always go there? I should know by now. I'm supposed to try and leave the village, even though it's pretty much implied we're supposed to go to the lab. Why don't we just start there? Seriously. We're going to get our first Pokemon from Professor Oak. And I am going to try to play with natures. More specifically, I'm going to try and explain what they are and what they do. I'm also going to explain more in what EVs are and how to use them. The reason I say that is because it forces me to learn more about how to use them, which I am close. One thing I still don't understand is IVs. So I'm going to start with Charmander. Normally I would start with Bulbasaur or Squirtle, but I always do that, so I'm going to go with the Pokemon that is going to be a little more of a challenge. I'm going to give this Charmander a name. I'm going to name her Ember. Just because it's a pretty name. Now our rival is going to pick the Pokemon that is strong against ours, the Water-type Squirtle. And my Charmander is Lonely Nature. That is actually what I wanted. Natures I will get into after the battle, probably closer to the end. But natures affect how your Pokemon grow. In this case, our Charmander is a Lonely Nature. He gains his attack stat is affected. His attack stat is helped. Well, I think it's defense that is hindered. So we want Charmander's attack stat to be helped most. And his defense stat don't really matter too much. Now Charmander is a fire type, Squirtle is a water type. Charmander starts out super weak against water and ground types. When he evolves, I'll explain more when he evolves, when it's more pertinent. Squirtle is a water type. Squirtle is super weak against grass and electric. Why? Because, well, water conducts electricity, and plants need water to live. So Ember gained 70 experience points and grew to level 6. She also gained 2 points in HP, 1 in attack, 0 defense, 1 in special attack, 1 in special defense, and 2 in speed. We like Charmander to be fast. So now that this fight is over, I'm going to take a minute to explain about the natures and all that fun stuff. Okay, I'll make my Pokemon battle to toughen it up. Blah, 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 blah. So, I'm going to grab my information about natures here and explain it to you. Yes, Charmander is a lonely nature. That means he gains an attack and loses, and he doesn't gain as much in defense, I should say. But like I said, Charmander is not really dependent on his defense stat. So, let's go on here. We're going to, after we deal with Professor Oak, we are going to go to a different town. We're going to leave the lab. We are first going to stop and talk to our mama, because Mama can heal the Pokemon. Mama, heal me. Thank you. Oh good, your Pokemon are looking great. Take care now. So we're going to head out. We're going to go north, because there's nothing south of us. There's 2 Pokemon on Route 1. And who are we going to run into first? Pidgey. Pidgey is a normal flying type, weak against lightning and rock. We're just going to scratch it. In terms of EVs or effort values, Pidgey gives 1 point to speed. You gain 4 points for a stat. So let's talk to this guy here. He works at the Pokemon Mart. The Pokemon Mart will explain a little more in detail later. He's going to give us a second free potion. Yeah, they're handing out. They like to hand out the items pretty good in the beginning. Keyword, in the beginning. Who are we going to run into now? Rattata. Rattata is another normal type. Pure normal type. The Rattatas are... I don't typically use a Rattata. Let's put it that way. And I will probably never use a Rattata. Gain 16 experience points. Again, Rattata yields speed effort values. 1. We got to level 7 and learned Ember. So now let's continue northward and get into another battle. Yep. With another Rattata. Now normally fighting wild Pokemon is not the way to go. Normally you want to gain your experience in another way, which we'll discuss later. But since they introduced effort values in Generation 3, fighting wild Pokemon can help in different ways, like I said with the effort values. So now we're in Viridian City. Normally I would stop at the Pokemon Center first, but since we have to go to the Pokemon Mart anyway, and we have to head back to Pallet Town, first he's going to give us a package to take to Professor Oak. And now we have the parcel. We're going to head out. I'm going to head back in so I can explain the Pokemon Mart. Here you can buy things. I guess you can't buy anything yet, so I'll explain it later. But normally you would buy your Pokeballs there, your potions, and other stuff. So now we're going to stop at the Pokemon Center and get our Pokemon healed. You get your Pokemon healed for free here. Boop, 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 boop. It takes 2 seconds. Out we go. Let's head back to Pallet Town. We're going to go this way because we're lazy. And I already showed you all the Pokemon on this route. I will be fighting wild Pokemon for the most part, and I'll try not to cut out too many battles. I know a lot of Let's Players do, so I'm not going to. I'm going to show as many battles as I can. So we're back here in Pallet Town, or we're going to give that parcel to Professor Oak. I wonder what it is. Yes, after 5 minutes, the Pokemon is more attached to me. I admit it, I love my Ember. Jerk face again. So why did Professor Oak call us? Oh, of course. He wants to give us our first Pokedex. The Pokedex is a high-tech encyclopedia, and will keep record of the Pokemon that we catch. Of course, we get our 5 Pokeballs. Now, in the beginning, whenever you get to a route with a new Pokemon, you want to catch all the new Pokemon on that route that you can. Because it will make playing this game a whole lot easier. This isn't going to be a catch-em-all run. I do not have the capabilities of doing that. But I'm going to catch as many as I can. Including, I'm not going to kick my butt to get the legendaries, but I am going to try. Okay, I think that is enough for this video. I thank you for joining me, and I hope you will join me again next Saturday. See ya!